Hey there guys, it's Sarah from Rusty Dog & Co. And in today's video, we're gonna talk about something super relevant at the moment, and that's Christmas shopping. Yep, the season is upon us again, and if you happen to be looking for that perfect gift for the woodworker in your life, or maybe that woodworker is you and people keep coming to you and asking for ideas, well then you've come to the right place. You see, I've constructed a list of 10 items that I have in this workshop that I genuinely find so helpful to have around. Now, I am setting the limit to these 10 items to under $50 because I feel like that's probably on average what most people would spend on a Christmas gift for someone. I feel like that's a pretty good amount to set. Plus, this is an expensive hobby and you can get really carried away. So we're gonna set it to under $50, but there are so many great things that you can buy for a woodworking workshop that are under $50, and I think I've got some really great ideas. So let's get to them. Okay, so first thing on the list are these Pony Jorgensen parallel clamps. Now these are actually my favorite clamps that I have in this entire workshop. I am grabbing them all of the time when it comes to just doing smaller glue ups, or if I need a clamp for something that really doesn't require my longer pipe clamp. These are just really awesome quality clamps. Now I picked up 4 of these smaller clamps here about a year ago, and I've literally been saying over and over again over the last year, just ask my husband, how I need to go and get more of these Pony Jorgensen clamps. And it just so happens that now is the perfect time to do that because Lowe's is having a major sale on them at the moment.
Now you can get these clamps in 3 different sizes from Lowe's: 24 inch, 36 inch, and 48 inch. And actually at the time of filming this video, the 36 inch clamp was listed even lower on Lowe's website at $31.
I actually went to Lowe's today and picked up 3 more of these clamps in the 36 inch size. Now, I don't know how long this deal is going to last, so if it's something that you're interested in, I'd recommend going ahead and snatching up this deal while you can. All right, let's move on to item 2 on my list. All right, the next item on my list is something super simple that I waited way too long to buy for this workshop, and that's this small little cobalt level here. Now, believe it or not, I actually just bought this thing this year, and every single time I use it, I think to myself that I should have bought this thing a lot sooner than I did. You see, I have larger size levels in this workshop as well, and they have their place, but what I find this particular level useful for is when it comes to installing things like drawer slides and drawer fronts and just getting those installed level. Because this level has a little magnet on the bottom here, I can simply sit that on top of my drawer slide when it's in the cabinet, and I can mark where it's level, or just go ahead and install it with this attached to it. That magnet is actually pretty strong, and I find that it does a pretty good job of holding on top of that drawer slide. It's also really good for setting it on drawer fronts as you're getting those installed. I love that it's lightweight, it's not super bulky, which just is really helpful when it comes to working with this thing in tight spaces. I build a lot of cabinets, I install a lot of drawers, a lot of drawer fronts, so this little tool is super helpful for stuff like that. Now you can find this particular level on sale right now at Lowe's for about $8, which is pretty cheap. Make a good stocking stuffer, that's all I'm saying. So if you've watched any of my videos in the past, then you know that I have recommended this little carbide tip Countersink drill bit several times before, and I'm gonna keep recommending it until it lets me down, which is something that it has yet to do in the 2 years that I've owned it. Now, I have bought many Countersink bits in the past, and every single one of them has broken on me over time. This one, like I said, has lasted me 2 years now, and honestly, I'm using it all of the time.
I love that I can change the depth of the countersink holes with this little hex screw. All I have to do is loosen it, and then I can change the position if I want deeper or smaller countersink holes. It also has a stop on it for consistent depths every single time, which just gives me a really professional look.
Now this countersink bit comes in at $43, which is just under that $50 limit. And I know, that feels like a lot of money to spend on a drill bit, right? It took me almost 6 months to just talk myself into spending the money on it. But I am so glad that I did, because after using this thing for over 2 years, I can genuinely say that it has been worth every single penny. And given how much I'm reaching for it on a daily basis, I think this countersink bit would make a great addition to almost any woodworking shop. Now, since it's the time of year that we like to hang lights everywhere, then this next gift idea is really going to fit the theme. And that's some of these LED shop lights. Now, installing these LED lights above my work areas was actually one of the biggest upgrades that I made to this workshop in 2024. Now, before we just had a couple of these like fluorescent lights in this garage space, but really there were a lot of really dim areas in this space. And honestly, I didn't even realize just how many dim areas until I got these installed and could see the difference. And wow, these give off so much more light. It is so much brighter in here, and this has just been a massive upgrade to the space. I have found it incredibly helpful, especially when doing things like applying finish. You can just see so much better by having these lights installed.
You can pick up a 6-pack of these Barina LED 4-foot shop lights for around $50. And I can tell you from personal experience that they are super simple to install. You basically just have to link them all together with the provided cords and then plug them in. Now, one of the initial drawbacks to these lights when I first got them was that they did not come with a remote, which meant turning on a switch that was on the ceiling. I have since found a workaround for this. All you have to do is purchase one of these remote control outlets and plug the lights into that outlet, and now you have a remote control to control the lights. I got this set of outlets from Amazon for about $16, and I can program all 3 outlets from this one remote. I've been really happy with these LED shop lights so far, and I plan to add more of them to my workshop over time.
So next up on the list is this small wooden mallet here. Now, wooden mallets are a very useful tool inside of a woodworking workshop. You can use them for hammering joints together, chiseling out mortises. There's just so many different uses for this thing, and I'm using this quite a bit in my workshop. You could make your own wooden mallet if you felt so inclined, but if you don't got the time for that and you just want to purchase one, then I found that this is a pretty good one. It just feels good quality. It's got some weight to it. It's got maybe like an epoxy coating around this part here, which will hopefully just protect it and just keep this thing lasting and in good shape for a long time. This is from a company, I believe, called Shafe wood carving tool shop. I'm not 100% sure if I'm saying that correctly. I'll leave a link to it, but you can pick this one up off Amazon for about 30 bucks. Okay guys, next up on the list is a pack of these crocodile cloths. Okay, so I know most people don't get excited about getting a pack of wipes, but hear me out. First of all, let's talk about how big of a pack that you actually get. Now, when I bought these on Amazon, I guess I didn't realize that it was such a huge pack of them, but it is 100 cloths, and it is quite a hefty big pack here. I also like how it's just easy open here. They're easy to pull out. Sometimes that's a big annoyance with the ones that are kind of like in the tubs, trying to get them out. This is very easy to pull out one at a time, and I absolutely love that. When you have a lot of stuff on your hands and you just need a cloth really quickly, these are really easy to grab. Plus, the cloths themselves are huge. Take a look at the size of this thing. They ain't messing around. That is a big size cloth. So if you have a big mess to clean up, this is gonna get the job done. The other really nice thing about these cloths is that they stay moistened. And I actually didn't realize this at the time. I literally just read this for the first time on here, but they actually claim on here they have a never dry guarantee. It says this will stay moist or we'll replace it for free. Them some bold claims. But I actually had one that I used earlier this morning, and I just went to grab it and it was still moist. So I think them claims be true. In the past, I had some like alcohol wipes that I would use a lot, but those really dry out really quickly, so it kind of limits the amount of time that you can use them. And that brings me to the absolutely best part about these cloths, in my opinion, and that's that they can clean almost anything off of your hand. And trust me, I've put this to the test. I accidentally had a major spill of black paint the other day, and my entire hands were covered in black paint, and I was able to remove probably about 90% of all of that black paint with one cloth. The second cloth was able to take care of all of it. I use them in the workshop for getting paint off my hands, like I just mentioned, wood glue that is dried on, wood filler, anything that kind of gets dried on my hands. I accidentally got super glue on my hands today. This took it off. So these are just really great to have around the workshop. I don't have a sink in my workshop, and this just helps me to basically not have to stop and go wash something off my hands. I can use this cloth to just clean it up until I can get to the sink later later. I honestly could not recommend these cloths enough if you work in a messy shop, which most woodworkers tend to. So you can pick up a pack of these off Amazon for about 20 bucks. Next thing on the list is some of these Maxi Flex. Why is talking so hard sometimes? Maxi Flex gloves here. Now, if I need to wear gloves in the workshop, these tend to be the style of gloves that I reach for the most. I like that they sit super tight to my skin. It offers me a lot of dexterity, and I don't feel like I'm wearing gloves a lot of the time. With big bulky gloves, I just can't wear them when it comes to working a lot of the times because I feel like I just can't get full functionality out of my fingers. I don't have that problem with these types of glove in particular. Now, I don't wear these when I'm operating like saws or anything because that can be a safety hazard, but I tend to use them a lot in the workshop when I'm toting lumber back and forth so that I don't get any of those gnarly splinters. It just keeps my hands safe from that. If I'm sanding something by hand, I'll put these gloves on. That way it just doesn't make my skin super rough. If I'm cutting something, cutting laminate or glass, I put these on because they're cut resistant. These just have a big place in the workshop, and I find that I'm grabbing for them quite a bit. So I think this is definitely something that a lot of people could benefit from having if they don't already. Now, they make all different kinds of brands of these style of gloves, but I did spot some DeWalt ones at Lowe's the other day that were on sale for about $5, and they had that touchscreen capability, which just means that you can use your phone while you're wearing them. I think these would make another great stocking stuffer. The next gift idea I have for you is a set of these right angle clamps. Now, I bought a set of these a while ago because when I first got started with woodworking, one of the things I struggled with the most was just keeping things square as I was assembling them. And there is nothing more annoying than trying to install doors and drawers on something that is not square. So I got some of these to just sort of help me with that process. It just gives me that little bit of extra security to make sure that I'm keeping things square as I'm assembling them, which ultimately just makes everything easier for me in the end.
Now, they do make some really nice versions of these right angle clamps. Woodpecker sells a set for over $200, but honestly, I've had enough success with a cheaper set of these that I got off of Amazon that I can't really justify that high price tag. Plus, an added bonus of this particular set from Amazon is that it even comes with a dainty little pair of white gloves for if you decide to give up woodworking as a hobby altogether and become a mime.
If you want, you can pick up a set of these on Amazon for between $30 and $40. While I've been on my woodworking journey over the last couple of years, there's been a couple moments along the way where I really started to feel like I was stepping my game up. And one of those moments came after I used the next gift idea for the first time. Now, if you've ever tried to cut a circle out before using something like a jigsaw or a bandsaw, then you know it's tough to get it exactly perfect. You can get it pretty close, but it's hard to get it perfect. That's where this tool comes into play. This is the Circle Guide Kit from Milescraft, and it allows you to cut out perfect circles every single time using your router. Now, I've got a video on my channel that shows you how to use this Circle Guide Kit. I'll leave that link below if that's something you're interested in checking out. Now, I just think this would make a great gift for someone who's just looking to broaden their skills a little bit and maybe show off a little bit. Once people see how perfect those circles are, they're gonna be impressed. You can pick up this Circle Guide Kit right now from Lowe's for about $45. All right, guys, so the last gift idea I have for you is this removable framing square fence.
Now, oftentimes I need to mark a line on a piece, and my little 6-inch square is not quite long enough to make a mark across the entire piece. Now, this is where this little tool comes into play. By attaching this little fence to my framing square, I can now butt that fence up against my edge and make a mark across the entire piece. This allows me to be a little more accurate, and it makes using this framing square much quicker. You can find this framing square fence on Amazon right now for around $20.
Well, I know, I said I was only gonna give you 10 gift ideas, but here's the thing, it's the holidays, I'm feeling extra generous, so I'm gonna throw in one more little bonus item for you. And that bonus item is gonna be some of these mixing cups right here. This is something I use in my workshop all of the time. I use it for mixing up epoxies, use it for mixing up finishes, I put glue in here sometimes. I mean, the uses for these little cups are really endless in a workshop. These cups in particular are really helpful when it comes to mixing up things like epoxy because it actually has the different ratio levels printed right on the cup itself, which is just super helpful because a lot of times if you got to mix up something in a 3-to-1 or 2-to-1 ratio, I've got to get on my phone and do that because math's not my strong suit, so I just plug it in Google. But with these cups, I don't even need Google. It tells me right there what levels to pour everything to get them to the right ratios. These are just super functional things to have in the workshop, and like I said, I am using them all of the time. Now you can pick up a 100-pack of these on Amazon for about 20 bucks, so that's a pretty good deal. They even come with these mixing sticks here. There's a couple of these mixing sticks in there, and these are also another really useful thing to have in a workshop. So I would highly recommend, if you don't already have some of these little cups, go get you some. Well guys, we made it through all 10 gift ideas on my list, plus a bonus. I hope you guys found some of these ideas helpful. Maybe it gave you a couple of ideas of gifts you can give this year, or ask for yourself. You deserve it. So this is the time of year that a lot of creators sort of share products that they like, and I can genuinely say that every single item on this list is something that I find myself using on a pretty frequent basis. And I think they hold a lot of value in my workshop, and I think they might in some of yours too. Now, if you're interested in any of the products on this list, I've got them all linked in the description box below, and you can go check that out. And hey, if you enjoyed watching this video, then I'll make it easy on you. All you gotta get me for Christmas this year is to like this video. And maybe consider getting subscribed too, because I have a lot of builds already planned for 2025, and I think it'd be pretty cool if you followed along. Alrighty guys, that's gonna wrap this one up. Thank you guys for watching. Have a lovely holiday season. I'll see you again soon. Bye.